are now tuned in to Hot Topics with Donna. And on this show, we do one thing: keep it real hot. That's honest, open, and transparent. If you didn't know, now you know. So sit back and unwind as we bring the vibe and a little bit of glorious sunshine to your heart, soul, and mind. Your lovely host, Hot Donna, will be with you in just a few moments. But while you wait, go ahead and set an atmosphere of peace in your space. If you can, cut the lights down low, get your hydration on, vibration zone. Cause tonight, you're about to receive some delicious food for your soul. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's about to get hot. You are indeed in the one and only place to be this evening. We appreciate you for joining us, and in just a few moments, we about to turn the heat all the way up. That's right. It's about to go down right now on Hot Topics with Donna. Show your virtual love by smashing that thumbs up and heart icon as many times as you can. And without further ado, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing your host, the one and only Hot Donna.
Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Hot Topics with Donna. Listen, we trying this again, me and my beautiful guest. But before I get started, well, I'll do that at the end. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Listen. So the other day we tried it, but today we're back and we are going to do this. We're going to do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest on. She is already ready. All right, we'll get started. The weather is nice. And so, I always choose a word for my guest. And so the word that I chose for her is restoration. And God will do it all the time.
Hey, beautiful.
Hey, listen, I apologize that I am late. I apologize, but we're here. But the word that I chose for you today was restoration. And the verse that I chose was Psalms 30:2. Lord my God, I called to you for help and you healed me.
Amen.
And that's what I chose for you today. That's what I chose for you today. And so we're going to get started. And so what I want you to do before we get started, I want you to tell people your name, where you reside, and then we're just going to get started. We're just going to get started.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Maya Smith, and I reside in Fayetteville, North Carolina, originally from Sanford.
Yes, yes. And so we're going to talk about some things, and you can share as much as you want to share. But I wanted to also say this is a time in your life that you're replacing, you're renewing, and you're redefining, and you're returning to yourself in this season of your life. And sometimes we have to do those things in order for us to be healthy, whole, and strong. And so I read a post that you wrote August 31st, and you said, my past self-inflicted pain struggles were because of my unwillingness to change. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that is so true, because we all do it whether we want to admit it or not. And
Yes.
I was like, when we can take ownership of our own self-inflicted stuff, because you know for yourself, a lot of people always like, God, why me? Why me? A lot of stuff we do self-inflicted. God ain't have nothing to do with that.
Amen.
We did it on our own, self-inflicted, and whatever outcome, he didn't have anything to do with it. Just we need to be thankful that he let us survive it.
Amen.
I
Yes, I agree.
self-inflicted mess. Yes. And so for you, what was your turning point when you said this, like your self-inflicted, and everybody's self-inflicted pain and struggles may be looking different, but when you realized that I am having these self-inflicted pains on myself, what was your turning point? What was the turning point in your life?
At that time, I've been to prison 8 times. I don't know how many times I've been in and out of jail. I lost count.
Wow.
But at this low point in my life, I had started getting better
Mm-hmm.
because I was told by this lady that I met in prison some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She heard me praying and she said, "Stop asking God to deliver you and start thanking Him for your deliverance." And that
Yes.
resonated with my spirit.
Yes.
Well, this time I got locked up
Mm-hmm.
and I was at when I got me to the jail, I was riding in a mobility chair because
Mm.
at that time I was a little bit right at 500 pounds
Really?
and I had gotten clean, but I wasn't clean. I was still using some.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still in and out of these stores spilling and lying to people and stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember it was as if I was watching a movie. I went to sleep when I got to jail. The
Mm-hmm.
very next morning, I remember sitting up and the way my bunk was, all I could, if I turned to one side, I could see nothing but the wall. And I remember looking at that wall, thinking, here I am again. And I'm
Jesus.
getting too old for this shit. Excuse my language, because
No,
I do
you're
cuss a
fine.
little
This is
bit.
honest, open, and
But
transparent right here.
but
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this shit. My
Right.
children are growing up. Life is moving on. And I looked around the jail and even the people that I was going in and out of jail with had changed, which means that something was changing in them. But
Yeah.
I started praying and I was like, God, I'm tired. I'm
Yes.
tired.
Yes.
I don't want to do this no more. I don't want
Yes.
to do this no more. I can't do this no more. And it's
Mm-hmm.
as if I was watching my life in rewind. And I remember when I started getting high, I was
Mm-hmm.
12 years old and was
And
introduced to crack
so,
cocaine by one of my daddy's friends.
wow. And that's what I was going to ask you. And so, at this time, I'm quite sure you knew it wasn't right,
Mhm.
if you will, but what was the point that you decided that you were going to do it?
So I was facing habitual felony charges because of all of my in and out. Again, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how many times I went to jail, but I
Right.
know that this was going to be my 8th trip to prison.
Right.
And I had just lost custody of my baby at that time, and she's now 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I had already lost custody of 2 children previously. So this was my 3rd child that I'd had, and I'd lost custody of.
Mm.
And I remember thinking, this can't be the end for me. I don't want this to be the end for me. And it was as if I don't know, I just gave it to God. In my prayer time while I was in jail, I stayed in jail that time 120 days. But I remember on that journey, them 120 days were a cleansing for me. It
Yes.
was different. I can't tell you what was different, but
Mm-hmm.
I know I was different this
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I fasted, I prayed sincerely from my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and I was determined that when I got out that I wasn't going back, and I didn't.
Jesus. And
God delivered me. He did.
so
And I
he
know it was
delivered
only
you
him.
in there.
Yes.
And so when you got delivered in there, sis, when you got out, was you completely delivered, or did you relapse, if you will?
No, I didn't. I was completely delivered. I
That's
actually stopped smoking cigarettes and
mm,
everything. one of my friends, so I had charges in different counties, and one of the ladies that I love, Stephanie, but she was one of the ladies who I met in my active addiction,
Mm-hmm.
who always told me, you know, you're built for greater than this, Maya.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you're better than this. You're not supposed to be out here. You've got something. God's got something greater for you. I remember calling her because at this time they had moved me from the Lee County jail. I had went
Mm-hmm.
to 4 different counties, and I
Mm-hmm.
was then in Cumberland County, and my bond was only $100, and I didn't have
Wow.
anybody that could come get me out. And she
Mm-hmm.
actually came and got me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Her and the bondsman came and got me. She was like, you know what? I just feel like this time, this different for you. Well,
Yeah.
when I got out, I went back to a home. At the time I was married.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I went back to a home where my ex-husband, because I now have an ex-husband, he was still using. But
Right.
again, I was determined I was not going back.
Amen.
Um, he just happened to be, I think that everything happens the way it's supposed to. He
It
was
does.
locked up. He was
Mm-hmm.
locked up the very night that I got locked up. I mean, that I got out.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back home alone. And I remember walking into that house thinking, I looked around and it was just dirty because I'm not the cleanest person in the world, but in my active addiction, I had become very, I just didn't care about stuff. But I remember
Yeah. Yeah.
throwing drug paraphernalia in the
Mm-hmm.
trash. I remember praying before I even walked in that home. I
Mm.
remember while I was in there, before I laid down, I had started scrubbing and cleaning. Um, but I was determined. So the very next day, I remember that Pastor Alice Hooker,
Mm-hmm.
I had started going to her church before I got locked up. And from the pulpit one Sunday, she gave us her phone number. And I called her and told her, you might not even remember me, but I just started coming to your church. Um, and I remembered your phone number because I had wrote it down while
Right.
I was in church. I said, but I don't want to go back. I'm really trying. I've been struggling with this addiction for over
Mm-hmm.
20 some years, in and out of jail and prison. I've prostituted. When I tell you, I just opened up my heart and just laid
Yes.
it all out
Yes.
there.
Yes.
She actually, and I told her, I said, and tomorrow is the first of the month, because at that time I was on disability.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that I'm going to use.
Jesus.
Maybe 45 minutes later, somebody was knocking at my door. Pastor Alice had reached out to the women at the church, and not just any women. She reached out to ones who had some struggles of their own. And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep their anonymity
Oh
because my
yeah.
sisters know
Yes.
who they
Yes.
are.
Yes.
But
Yes.
they came to my house and picked me up, took me out to eat. I've never,
Mm.
because my experience with church and relating it to me and my active addiction, I was hurt because I had sought help from church
Yes.
and
Yes.
never received it. But this was a different kind of love. These were people who had went through some stuff as well
Mm-hmm.
and who had overcome. They prayed with me. They helped me get clothes, and they picked me up for church, and they encouraged me. Made sure I went to Bible study when I wanted to go. I had somebody to call. See, I didn't have a support group like that. And
And
I came from
so
a long, yes,
And
ma'am.
so when you like all this church hurt and when you reached out before in the past, did a little piece of you on the inside, were you kind of reluctant to say, hmm, is this going to be
Yes,
another hurt? Can I really trust that these women are going to support me, empower me to be the best version of myself now, because you know how people can be,
yes,
you
ma'am.
know how judgmental you can be. And so when they came, what was your first reaction? Because you done been hurt before and you done
Mhm.
reached out to people in church to help you. So now here these people are coming. So how was your first response when they got there? Like, what were you
Well,
feeling?
well, actually, I was afraid because I had been church hurt. I wanted to join a choir one time, y'all. Um, and I was told by the pastor of the church that I was never going to be anything other than what I was. and that I was going to keep running in and out of jail and prisons. And actually, I want to say that he basically said that I was going to die out there in active addiction.
Hmm.
But, um, and I quit going to church again. I
Mhm.
did. I quit
Mhm.
again. I almost gave up. But when these women came to my house, I was scared.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
how am
course.
I going to be able to trust these people? Do
Mhm.
they have my best interests at heart?
Mhm. Mhm.
However, it was the God in me that stood up and said, you ain't got to trust them. You got to trust me.
Absolutely. But don't it make you feel good when whatever situation you're in, it may not be addiction, whatever situation that you may be in, when we make up in our mind to say, Lord, I'll trust you however it looks. It may be looking strange right
Yeah,
now, just like with these people, these women coming to your rescue, if you will. You're
yeah,
saying, I'm scared. I done been church hurt, but you know what? I can't worry about what my is feelings are. I got to worry about what God is saying. I got you.
amen.
And one thing I want to say too is you truly had to have a made up mind after being locked up 8 times. And then when you come out and you have a made up mind, because if we want to be real, most time when people come out, they always go back, or the people that you were in a circle with, they're always ready to welcome you back in so you can get back in the same groove that you was in
Mhm.
before you got locked up.
Yes.
And
So, with that being said, it was amazing that you said that. I was in the same home, and now I've been home from jail at that time
mhm,
about 3 or 4 months, have not used. About 3 o'clock in the morning,
mhm,
I remember the car lights hitting the driveway and hitting my bedroom window. And I heard somebody knocking on my door. And when I opened the door, it was a dope man. He
mm,
came, he came to see me because he had heard I was home,
mhm,
and he wanted to see if I needed anything.
mhm.
And I remember telling him, I don't live like that no more. I don't even use.
Jesus,
And
yes,
he said, well, I got some money. I can pay you instead of and what he wanted to do was trick with me because I was a prostitute.
right,
I did
right.
jump in and out of cars. However, what I told him was, I don't live like that no more. I'm not doing
Mm,
that. I remember him going to his car, me closing my door, and all I could do was tell God, thank you. I
yes,
felt
yes,
scared and nervous inside.
yes.
As I was on my way back to my bedroom, I heard him knock on the door again.
Mm,
I go back to the door. He said, I just came back to tell you I'm sorry and that I'll
Jesus.
never, ever
Look
cross
at
you
God.
like this
Look
again.
at God. Look at God. Because this is the thing. When you told him boldly no the first time, he probably thought like no, but see, God had already set the situation up so you can be
Hmm.
bold and say, nope, I'm no longer living this lifestyle. That person that you used to know, she died when she was in prison, so
Yes.
now you a new creature. And so he didn't have a choice but to come and apologize, because he
Yeah.
knew when you said no and you meant no,
Yeah.
and you already said, this is not who, that person that you used to know, she died. I left her in the prison
Yeah.
somewhere, wherever she at, you know?
Yes. Please, and leave her dead and stinking.
And that's the amazing thing, because people feel like whatever we may go through, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sexual addiction, food
Mhm.
addiction, like you said, we have to have a made up mind, because these things we take upon ourselves, self-inflicted, like you said. But when we
Yes.
have a made up mind, and God know, because we can say, Lord, I ain't gonna do it no more, and he's sitting up there, he's saying, yes you are, because your heart,
Yes.
your mouth
Yes.
saying one thing, but your heart ain't saying it ain't, and these two things is not lining up. And for you to have a made up mind when you came out, that speaks volume, because at some point you had to be tired of being sick and tired.
Yes. Yes. I lost 3 children in active
Right,
addiction. And I
right.
remember as I was growing up, the stuff that was going on in my household, my mama did the best. My mom and daddy did the best they could with what they had. And
Absolutely.
I actually used to just be so angry with my mother and my father. But then after I got grown and realized that they were working with how they were taught. So
Right, right.
they didn't know, but I wanted to grow and learn. And I remember saying that I will never allow this, and this, and I'm
Mhm,
gonna always be there for my kids. However, total the opposite. All three of my gorgeous grown kids, thank you, God, have been, they were God sent, and were taken care of, not by me, but by somebody God had put right there so that they
yeah.
wouldn't have to suffer the blunt instrument of my wrongs and stuff.
Mhm, mhm. And so, how is your relationship now with your children?
Me and my children are amazing. Me and my baby girl actually, because she's never known me like that, but my
Mhm,
older two children,
mhm,
they grew up with me in and out of their lives, in and out of
mhm.
jail. They've come and visited me in prison and in jail. Um, but my baby girl hasn't, so she didn't suffer as much trauma as they did.
Mhm.
Um, Me and my son are okay, but me and my oldest daughter, I feel like there's a tug between us sometimes
Mhm.
because of the distance.
Yeah.
And a lot of the resistance is me, because sometimes I still do feel like I don't deserve to have them because they are so helpful. They are. However, with that being said, I feel like me calling them if something happened, they're not my first go to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
And it's not because they don't make it easy for me, it's because of
Mhm.
the guilt that I carried inside. However,
And
I've gotten better with that. I speak
yes.
with them often. We converse, we
Mhm,
text, I go visit. I
mhm.
actually live closer to my two oldest children, and my baby girl is still in Sanford with my Mima, but she comes and spends the weekends with me and stuff like that.
And I just want to tell you, God has forgiven you.
Yes.
And now you have to totally, totally forgive yourself and relinquish that guilt. Because, like you said, we only know how to raise our kids by what we see and what was modeled to us. And
Yes.
do we miss the mark? Absolutely, because I've missed the mark with my own children. And I thank God that I'm in a season now that, me and my children were close. We've always been close, but being married and divorced with young kids,
Hmm.
you miss the mark. You
Yes.
want to, I raise them a little bit how my grandmother raised me, how my mom raised me, and then you add your own concoction and then you mix it
Oh, yes,
together,
ma'am.
and you don't really know what you're gonna get. You see what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
And
Yes, ma'am.
and I always tell parents, we miss the mark. But the one thing that we have to remember is we have to apologize to our kids when we miss the mark. We're
Oh,
not
yes, ma'am.
perfect. And we have to be woman enough or man enough to our children to say, hey,
Yes.
listen, I messed up.
I messed up.
I
Yes.
messed up. And once we can acknowledge that we messed up and don't be saying, well, if you wouldn't have or I wouldn't have. No, there's no in between. You messed up. A
Yes.
mess up is a mess up. And when we
Yes,
can take
ma'am.
ownership of that, then you can start building bridges to heal and make better relationships. Yes, you was absent, but it's never too late as long as you're
Yes,
on this side.
ma'am.
And
Yes.
however you
Amen.
build these relationships, you can't feel guilty anymore because God has forgiven you. And you know
Oh,
what? You did what you did because you didn't know. You
yes.
was out here trying to figure out your life.
Yes.
You keep
I
talking.
have,
I'm going to get a charger. Keep talking.
yes, ma'am. I actually have eight, nine grandkids, and God has granted me the opportunity to be able to help one of my sisters in Christ and my baby mama to help raise another little girl. And I feel so honored to be able to do this, because I told her actually a couple of days ago that I feel like if in the same situation, she would have done the same thing for me.
Right, right.
And yeah, she would have done, I know that she would have. Um, I know without a shadow of a doubt that she would have, to be honest. I I don't have a whole lot of insecurities anymore
Good.
because on this side of it, this is my 16th year clean and sober. I
Yes,
actually
ma'am.
I work in my field. I went back to school. I have an associate's in science, addiction therapy, and I went back and got my bachelor's degree. Um, but I am also a North Carolina certified peer support specialist. I am also a North Carolina certified substance abuse counselor. I love what I do
And
because I
what
know
better
that,
person, because you
yes,
never in a million years you probably thought
now,
that a person that had an addiction will be out here helping other people, because you're able to give it to them honest. You're able
yes,
to give it to
and I
them
do.
raw. You're able to say, listen, if God can do it for me, if I can get delivered, you can too. And that's the thing.
Amen.
People, like, I hate when people want to like pump and prime and make excuses. You
Yes.
make excuses when you don't want to heal. You make excuses when you don't want to turn down that bottle. You make
Mm-hmm.
excuses when you don't want to get high no more. You make
I do.
excuses, and the more excuses you make, that's why you stay in whatever addiction that you
Yes.
are in even longer.
Yes.
And
But
then you
drugs were
and
only
you
one
and
of my
he
symptoms.
right,
I
and God
had,
is giving you a chance to get out,
yes,
but
yes,
you still in the addiction
yes,
because you
yes,
refuse to change.
yes, yes, ma'am.
And
And using was just one of the symptoms of my addictive personality. I had a food addiction because that's how I ended up gaining all that weight.
right,
Not only that, I found out I was an emotional eater. At
girl, that's me.
123
That is me
pounds.
right now. That is me right now. And I'm telling you, I don't know how you feel, but like for me, being an emotional eater, girl, that's
Mhm.
terrible. Like
It
I
is.
literally feel terrible. And I was just telling my girlfriend at
Yes.
work today, I was like, I done put on so much weight, and people were like, "Oh, girl, you look good." I ain't talking about looking good. I'm talking about how I
I
feel
feel. Yes,
when I
ma'am.
walk from my car, from the parking lot to my classroom. I'm out of breath,
Yeah. Yes,
and
ma'am.
I can tell because I'm heavy, because I've never been this heavy.
Yes, ma'am.
And I made up in my mind. I was on my way to work today, and I said, "Lord, today is starting a new change because I have to think about my health."
Yes.
And people, if you don't know about emotional eating, that is like, to me, that is like, I can't even
It,
explain it.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I be up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. If I go use the restroom, I'm stopping by the
Got
kitchen
something in my
before
hand to eat. Yes. Yes. I can relate.
I'm stopping by the kitchen before I even get back in the bed, and you
Yes,
know
ma'am.
it's wrong. And so now I am gonna start back not bringing any sweets, no nothing in the house, nothing.
Well, I don't deprive myself, but I did have gastric bypass surgery because after my blood pressure and the diabetes, and then they're telling me that my heart, if I didn't lose this weight, that my heart was just going to get out on me. And I was like, the devil is a lie.
Right.
So now I went back to, so I went to therapy and then I stopped. Well, I
Hmm.
went back to therapy, and I do have a therapist that I see once a month. I
Right.
actually do attend AA and NA meetings.
Hmm.
I do thank you, Shannon. I do have a sponsor. I have somebody who does my supervision who holds, and I have a slew of people who hold my accountable. I
And,
hold me accountable to that.
right. And that's the thing. When
Yes.
accountability is everything, because people don't want to be held accountable.
Oh no, ma'am.
They don't want to be held accountable. They want somebody to hold their hands and just say, "Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
can do it." No, you have to have somebody to make you accountable. And that's just like, my oldest son, he's a recovering alcoholic. And he always say it's always about that accountability. Because when you're not held accountable, you just make excuses.
Oh yes, ma'am. I
You make
agree.
excuses.
All
You make
kinds of
excuses.
excuses. Because
Yes.
if to be honest, when I was getting high and I was drinking and drugging and ripping and running, It was everybody else's fault. You don't know how they treated me. You don't know how they made me feel. How about at the end of the day, at the
There.
end of the day, we are accountable for how we allow people to treat us. And if we
Right.
hold ourselves to a certain standard, and I've learned how to do that, I don't have to
Mm.
stay in rooms no more that I'm uncomfortable in. I didn't have
There.
to then. I didn't know that I didn't have to. But I know that I know that I know that,
Yeah.
I don't have to stay in rooms I don't belong in anymore. I don't have to be talked to any kind of way. So therefore I treat people and with respect regardless. A lot of the population that I deal with on a daily basis are homeless. And I've been there. I was homeless and pregnant, big pregnant, not just a little bit. I'm talking about literally sleeping outside, burnt all my bridges, couldn't go home.
Mm.
My mama couldn't read or write, and I was stealing from her. And
Jesus.
so I couldn't go home, but literally outside in the streets, sleeping, dirty, nasty, and stinking. So I know how it feels to not have
Absolutely.
and to make bad choices.
Mm-hmm.
However, on this side of it, I encourage people every day that no matter where we are, we can always get up. We don't have to stay where we are. We can always start over
We
anytime in this.
can. We can. And sometimes we need to reset. Sometimes we
Oh, yes,
need to,
ma'am.
and this is the thing. When God starts shifting you away from people and things that you used to desire, we cannot buck against that. He knows exactly what he's doing. But when I am a firm believer, and I tell people all the time, stop sitting at tables where you're waiting for people to feed you, because when they stop feeding you, how are you going to eat? You need to
That
start
part.
preparing the table for yourself, and
Yes,
whomever he sent to eat at your table, that's
yes,
who's going to be there. Because at this stage in my life, I don't need new friends. I'm not saying that I'm above that, but when I start having people come in my path, I'm saying, who sent you? What you want, and what do I have that you need?
that part.
And if you can't answer those questions, we can say, hey, how you doing? Hope everything is good.
Keep
Because
it
you have to
cordial and
be
keep
so
it moving.
sensitive to the Holy Spirit to know why people are coming into your life.
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
they coming to pour, or are they coming to take?
Yes,
And
yes.
that includes family too.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
There's no exclusion from that. And when we talking about boundaries, you have to have boundaries for every relationship that you're in.
Everyone. Yes,
Everyone, your
ma'am.
children need boundaries, your parents need boundaries, your co-workers need boundaries, your friend need boundaries, people in the church, they need boundaries. Because
Oh,
when
yes, ma'am.
we don't have boundaries for people that are in close proximity to us, then that means we're subject to do anything
Oh,
that is
yes.
presented
Okay.
before us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
And
we have to
transferring
have
the
boundaries.
spirit is
Yes,
real.
it's
Yes,
real.
baby. Yes, it is.
It's so real, because
Yes, it is.
I'm a firm believer. Like, listen, I I'd be sitting here sometimes, be like, Lord, I just want to go somewhere. And then I'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm in the
Mhm.
compounds of my own home. It's peace. If I
Yes.
want to have a dance party, I can cut my Alexa on and crank it up and have a dance party. You see what I'm saying?
Baby,
And
I got China Styles playing in the background while I'm talking to you.
yeah, and
From my mouth to your ears, Lord.
yes. And I'm good with that, because you know what? I don't need all spirits coming up in my house, and then I'm in here by myself and I'm tripping,
Having to
jumping
fight
off
it.
bed.
Yes,
No, I don't do that. And I'm learning in this stage of my life to really enjoy my own company.
yes, ma'am. Don't it feel
I can,
good?
yes, ma'am. I can
I
go out to
remember a
eat by
time when I
myself.
couldn't.
I can ride by myself. I'm
Yes,
good.
ma'am. Just
I
me and the
am
good
good.
Lord.
Yes. And people be like, I
Yes,
see you out, girl. Yes, I'm out. But I'm out because I'm having a good time. I am enjoying my life.
yes, yes, yes,
And
ma'am. I couldn't enjoy my company. I used to feel like I was going to jump out of my own skin because I couldn't be
wow.
by myself. And I felt like I was coming undone when I was alone.
Wow.
However, baby, at this stage, in this good late age of my life, I have learned how to grasp a
Yeah.
hold of Maya and enjoy the peace that surpasses all
Yes.
understanding. I know what that means now. And to get in my car like you, bet I'll cut my music on, or if I don't want to hear nothing at all, I ain't got to. Or I come in here and I got my music playing, or I lay down, or if I feel like doing something, I do. If I don't, I'm not stressed. I'm not worried about how I'm going to pay my bills today because I done spent up the money on this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
other. Ah,
That's
I
good.
just can't explain it.
And Shannon said, when you make up your mind of your own mind and do how you do to handle people, they don't understand your journey, and they don't. And
And
that's
you're
the thing.
absolutely right, Shannon.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
And some of them get mad with you. I've had
absolutely.
family to downright just talk so bad about me. I've walked up on conversations about me, and I'm trying to do the best I can just to make it. However, baby, you know what? I forgave them and kept it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And and
yeah,
that's like you said, I'm so glad that you're in a space that you know how to walk away when you're not welcome, and you still love,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
still love. And it's like, oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, I got you.
yeah. I
I
went
got you.
to I want to share this. I went to the Wilson and Reeves Christmas party about 2 years ago, and I had started getting used to going my
Hmm.
first years of my recovery. When I tell y'all that on my way there, I started to turn around and go home so many times, but I didn't. But I remember walking in there and I looked around. I wasn't there 30 minutes before I decided this is not my place. This is
Right.
not what I'm supposed to. I don't have to sit at somebody else's table as you were speaking of earlier.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna take my ass home.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I stopped and got me some chicken or something, and I went home and put back on my night clothes and snatched my wig off and sat in my bed, baby, and had a ball all by myself. Me and good Lord watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being in places we don't have no business no more. We learn, we grow
We
out of
grow.
stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely. And so I wanted to ask you, at the beginning of your family friend that introduced you to the drugs, did you ever get a chance to tell them how that made you feel, or did you just forgive?
actually, he died.
Mm.
So my daddy and my mama, my mama was let me let my dogs out so y'all walk
Okay.
with me.
Okay.
So my mama and daddy used to have my daddy had card games at the house on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And so him and his friends would come over. Well, they would come over to the house. Come on, y'all. Come on, Dollar. Come on,
How
Dollar.
many dogs you have?
I have two. I have a pit named Dollar,
Oh wow, beautiful.
and I got a little Pomeranian poodle, a little white one. Her name is Penelope.
Girl, you got two different.
I do. Yeah. But I was 12 years old, and I was living in the projects at 1114 Walden Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being at the bus stop, me and my two best friends, Iris and Sharice, and we were waiting for the bus to come. And I remember this man pulling up and asking us if we wanted to go smoke some weed. And I figured it was cool because that was one of my daddy's friends. We had already
Mm-hmm.
started dibbling and dabbling smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got in the car with him and we ended up out in the country on 42.
Mm-hmm.
And an old trailer, because I don't know if you remember those old trailers was down there, but there was an old trailer and he used to go out there and cook dope. So he taught us how to cook crack,
Mm-hmm.
how to make cocaine into crack. And I started using in that trailer because we were the test dummies as well.
Mm.
And because of my addictive personality and not feeling um because I grew up, I was the darkest of all the grandkids. I
Mm-hmm.
had the shortest of hair and I
Mm-hmm.
had buck teeth. And I fought a lot in school because my mom and daddy couldn't afford a lot of the nicer clothes. So we
Mm-hmm.
had to wear hand-me-downs from my cousin who was a boy. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, it was hard wearing boys' jeans and shirts to school especially when you're getting into middle
Mm-hmm.
school. Well, then it was junior high. and stuff like that. So I got in trouble a lot because I was picked on
Mm-hmm.
and I was called names and all kinds of stuff. So me going out there to the country, I started going every day and I started smoking crack every day.
Mm.
So since I was 12, but I never got a chance to tell him how it made me feel. I held a resentment and I felt like he owed me something. So I would pop up at his house on Circle Drive. Um, he didn't want his wife to know that he was still dibbling and dabbling. So he would just sneak me some dope out the door and stuff like that. But when he died, I remember when it wasn't until I got clean that I released that the anger, the bitterness that I had inside because I had to let it go. I'm
Yeah.
living, I got to live. I can't just keep
But
telling on.
12,
Yeah,
12.
yeah,
How did you even feel or even
babe.
know how to act, if you will, at 12? I mean, 12 people, 12-year-olds used to try cigarettes, but you're trying some hard stuff at
Yes,
12.
yes, ma'am.
And so,
Tried and loved it from the start.
and that's what I'm
It
saying. Like,
changed,
how?
it changed how I felt.
Jeez.
So immediately, the euphoria from it was immediately. I fell in love with smoking crack cocaine. I loved it. I loved getting high, even up until it wasn't fun no more. Because
Mm.
then I wasn't getting high no more. I was just doing it out of habit
Mm-hmm,
because I had been
mm-hmm,
doing it for so long.
mm-hmm.
But it became a job for me.
So, did
I
you get high
used
going to school
I stopped going to school.
at
I
12?
dropped out of school. I got pregnant when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
Dropped out of school when I was 15. Got pregnant when I was 16. It wasn't until I went to prison one of those trips that I got my GED.
Okay.
My first prison trip, I was 17 years old, and I had a 120-day sentence, and my son was about 5 or 6 months old. He's 34, 35 now. Um, I remember shortly after then, I was getting ready to turn 18, and I robbed. It used to be called the Pantry.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the Circle K that was down there by the Medicine Park Pharmacy.
Right,
And
right.
I went in there with a knife because that was my first bout at prostituting. Because the same man that turned me on to crack cocaine then wanted something in return for me, getting me high. So I started tricking. But I remember feeling so nasty after this man and these other men had touched on me that I wasn't going to do that. Thank you, James.
Mm.
So I robbed the store with a knife. I wasn't never intending to hurt nobody. I just wanted them to feel threatened, and I robbed the store. I don't know how much money I got away with, but I ended up spending that same money with that same man. I went right back out there and spent that money that I had just robbed the store, and I knew the police were looking for me.
Mm.
By the time I was 18 years old, I had two 14-year sentences for armed robbery.
Jesus.
And they said I wasn't going to get out for 14 years. Even while I was sitting there, I did 6 years and 8 months, and I got a pardon from Governor Martin.
Mm.
And I actually was a role model inmate because I wasn't ever a bad person. I just made
Because
bad
you had
decisions.
already got the prophecy that
Yeah,
you were destined to be great.
yes. So I went to work at the governor's mansion. And what I did there, because they screened me. And what I did there, we did parties. When the governors had parties and stuff, I did the parties. We were the greeters. We set the tables. We ironed the clothes. We did the tablecloths. We were yes, ma'am. So I worked at the governor's mansion. I got a pardon. 6 years and 8 months I did, and he pardoned me because I told you I had two
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
18-year sentences, and I came home, but I didn't stay clean. I wasn't even home. I wasn't even home 60 days before I was right back doing the same thing. But yeah,
So, while you in and out, what made it different this last time when you stayed clean? What was different with Maya? What was your mindset at this last time?
I was older and I had health issues. And by then I had already had a knee. I was the first um 20 something year old with a full knee replacement in the state of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been beat up and because I wasn't your typical addict. I robbed the dope man a lot of times. I robbed the people who I was out there in the streets with. So I
Wow.
was beat up a lot. I've been shot at, I've been cut, I've been beat up and left for dead. I've been in ICU.
Mm. Hey, baby. My daughter-in-law was watching from Florida.
That's beautiful.
It,
But yeah, yeah.
and so
I
here,
was different. What changed this time was I was different. I was older and I was really, the world had really beat me up. This drug had drugged the hell out of me.
yes, yes.
Literally.
You are truly, whew, you're truly the definition of restoration, strength, courage.
To God be all the glory.
Because, like you said, some stuff you did was totally self-inflicted, and you can't blame nobody but yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when, like I said, and when you start taking accountability for your self-inflicted stuff, it makes you better.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Because when
ma'am.
we don't take accountability, we can blame the Pope. But at the end of the day, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you take accountability, hey, however it looks, it is what it is. But you have to
Yeah.
take accountability. And
Yes,
that's the
ma'am.
thing. You took accountability. Yeah, you had to go through all this. And I'm a firm believer that sometimes God will stick you away, if you will, to save your life because he knows what he already said that you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? And I think of Jeremiah 29 and
Thank you,
11. He
Candy.
said he already know the plans
Yeah.
that he have for your life. And you know, and people think when people
Thank
go
you,
to
Lord.
prison or whatever,
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe that's what God wants you to be because you're safe
Yes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
safe because he's going to do whatever he has to do to get you to come
To
to him.
get my
You
attention.
can
Yes,
come
ma'am.
willingly or you can keep fighting,
Yes.
but sooner
Me
or
and my
later you're going to
coworkers were
surrender.
sitting. I was sitting at the table with my coworkers today, and we was talking about one of our patients who is going to treatment straight from prison. And I said, I can't tell y'all how many times going to jail, going to prison saved my life.
Right. Yep. And
Yeah,
my
changed
daughter-in-law
my life.
said, what did she say? Hold on. She said, look at you now. She said, a testimony for sure. Look at you now.
Amen.
Phenomenal woman. And I'm going to tell you, God had his hands on you
Yes, he
from
did.
the gate at
Yes,
12.
he did.
At
Yes, he
12,
did.
because you know for yourself, and everybody that's watching this live or going to watch the replay, when you're 12, you trying to smoke a little weed, you trying to
Yeah,
sneak a little drink, right?
yes, yes,
You like up here like doing crack
yes.
at 12,
Yes, ma'am.
not even knowing that this could bust your heart wide
Yes,
open at 12
yes,
because
ma'am.
you're still in the stage of trying to mature and develop.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's like, if you will, like playing Russian roulette with your life at 12.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
At
I was
12.
I was 17 or 18 and remember I can't remember what the fire from the gun sounded like, but I can tell you what it looked like because I was running away from it and I had robbed this man and he was trying to kill me. And rightfully so, to be honest. When I can't explain y'all, I know that God didn't save Maya for me to be sitting around
Right.
with my legs crossed thinking I'm cute some damn where and not telling about how he saved me. He brought
Right.
me so that I could be right here tonight talking with
Right.
you and on this live feed and so that I can get my ass up in the morning and go to work and speak life into somebody because
Right.
We need this. We need each other. And for us, I can't, that's being judgmental because I just felt myself, look, these good Christians who act like they
No,
ain't never
but
done
this is the
nothing.
thing. You know, and you know me. I like my platform is honest, open, and transparent.
Yes,
And like,
yes.
if people don't like it, that they don't have to watch. But it's
Amen.
people like you that's giving your testimony raw and uncut.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Come on, God.
you might, somebody out there might need this. And I
Amen.
always say, whatever live I do, if it don't touch but one person, that's the
Yes,
one
ma'am.
person that
Ma'am.
needed to hear it. Because there's another 12-year-old
Yes,
that
ma'am.
might be thinking about doing some
Yeah.
crack.
Yes, ma'am.
There's another 12-year-old little boy that might be thinking about doing some crack. And so if their family members see this live, and that can be a testimony, 8 times,
Yes, ma'am.
8 times. You survived the first time you took that crack at 12.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And then
Yes,
you kept going back and kept going back
ma'am.
and kept going back at 12.
Yes, ma'am.
And see, and that's the thing. We got to stop being so judgmental, because if God wanted to take you out, he could have took you out a long time
At
ago.
any time.
At any time, you out here smoking, robbing, done been
Yes,
shot at, done been
yes,
left for dead, doing
yes,
everything that
ma'am.
you was big and
Yes,
bad enough
ma'am.
to do out here in this world, self-inflicted,
Woke up in ICU, didn't
but
know
he
out
kept you.
in this world. Y'all have no clue. And now I work at this hospital and I work primarily with addicts who come in, they done overdose. Little girl, 20 years old. And I remember her. I said, baby, I am you. There for the
Mm,
grace of God. There for the grace of God. Yeah.
mm, mm. But don't it make you feel good, sis? Even though you had to go through all of these struggles, triumphs, and challenges, but look at you now. You came out unscathed. Like you said, you don't even look like what you've been through. And that just shows you how good God is, that he can clean us up and we can just
Don't
walk out the
feel
fire and
like,
you just don't
don't
have
look
no
like, and
burns,
my
no nothing.
conscience.
Mm, mm, mm.
Walk through the fire, don't even smell like smoke.
No, no. And that's like, sometimes I'll be like, I don't even know why people be trying to play with him.
That part.
It act like he don't even exist. You know, like when we got our life going on, we think, you know, we just put him up on the shelf, and then when shit hit the fan, that's when we want to take him down and be like, Lord, I need you. No, we should be calling on him every day. And I tell people, he cares about the littlest thing.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
littlest thing. Like, even when I leave here from work and the Holy Spirit, that little voice say, don't go left, go right today.
Baby.
And we just need to listen, because I want to go left because, yes, Lord, this is the way I go to work. It's easy. But when he say go right, I go right,
Go.
because I don't know what is on the left side when I turn left that maybe that morning.
Yes.
Could be an
Yes.
accident. It could be anything. And he cares about everything that we do, the way we dress, the way we act, the places
Yes.
that we go. He is just that good of a father to say, no,
Yes.
daughter, no, son, no,
We
don't go
deserve
that way.
it. I don't care how good we think we can be or should be.
Right.
Ain't nothing we could never do to deserve God's grace and mercy and how good he is to us. And yes, Shannon, God favored us, baby. He favors
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
He
And that's
favors
why I
us.
can't understand how people can say, you used to, in the same grace and mercy that he give us. Why can't we give it to people that
Yes.
may not be where we are, and we still ain't that good?
Yes, ma'am.
We still ain't that good,
Oh, no, ma'am.
because our life can change any day now.
Any second. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
but we're not that good, and that's what makes me so, upset that we can't give our sisters and brothers the same grace and mercy that our Father give us every day that we're so undeserving of.
Ma'am. Yes.
Undeserving. But he still gives it to us each and every day that we open our eyes in the morning.
Go.
And
Go.
you can't even be nice to your sister. You can't even speak, hey, good morning.
Can't speak to him. Got your nose turned up and carrying on and talking about him and some girl. No.
And you know, and I so thank you for being able to be honest, open, and transparent, because this platform, when God gave it to me, I was like, I don't know. The devil is a liar, but I'm going to wait to see if she comes back on. But guys, listen, her story is so, so powerful. And we have to remember whose we are. We have to remember whose we are. And Maya, if you can join back, let's join back. It's just getting too hot because you already know how this happens. But guys, if she can come back on, we can come, she will come back on. If not, then we would do a part 2. And I would reach out to her and we would do a part 2. Because at the end of the day, it takes courage for people to come on this platform to tell their story. And I don't take my platform lightly. Maya, if you want to, do you want to do part 2 one day this week or next week? Just let me know. Yes, the devil is mad, and that's why he kicked us off. But if she's willing to come back and we can do a part 2 either Thursday or whenever she's available, I would love for her to come back and finish her interview. But what I'm going to tell you guys, stop hiding behind fears. Stop hiding behind your failures. I love you too, Jamaz. Stop hiding. You don't have anything or anyone to hide from. Only the good Lord knows what you're doing, what you're capable of. And if it wasn't for him, none of us would be walking and doing what we're doing now. So, okay, so we're going to do a part 2, but I love you, sis. Thank you so much for, just pouring your heart out and telling your testimony. You are truly an example of what God can do in each and every one of our lives. Our stories may be different. Whatever we're going through may be different. But the one thing that I do know that's not different is God can deliver us from whatever we may be going through, whatever you may be going through. Stop trying to do it on your own. Because every time we try to do something, we make a mess of it. And we have to learn to say, Lord, whatever you want for me, I want that for me. Because I have lived my life up until probably the last 3 years of doing it Donna's way. And every time I do it Donna's way, I make a mess of it. I make a mess of it. So remember, he just wants the best for you. And he's already, before you was even conceived, your whole life is already mapped out. Nothing that you're doing that he doesn't know about. He already knows. He knows everything about us from the beginning to the end. And so I challenge you today to give yourself grace for whatever you may be going through. Give yourself grace. Give other people grace, because guys, when I tell you every day that you open your eyes in the morning, that's another day of grace and mercy that we are so undeserving, because we're not that good. I'm telling you, we're not. We're not. But one thing that I do know is that he is a loving God. He's a forgiving God. And it doesn't matter if you ask people to forgive you and they don't. That is not on you. You have released that. Don't pick it up. If you want different in life, then you got to start asking God to do it. Just like Maya said, stop saying you want God to deliver and start thanking him for your deliverance. If you need healing, start thanking him for your healing. If whatever you need, start thinking him in advance. And just sit and just keep doing what you need to do. And don't worry about what it looks like. Don't worry about it. Don't try to fix yourself up and all that. Just say, Lord, I need help. I need help. My attitude stinks, because I have to tell him that sometimes my attitude be jacked up. And I have to keep it real with him. I don't have to keep it real with nobody else about my attitude, because I know sometimes my attitude do stink, and I need his help. I need him to help me. And he will. He will help you. He will help you. Do just that. And my daughter-in-law said, if you are on here and need help, don't be afraid to reach out. Mental health, addictions, whatever it is, there's help. You just have to ask for it. There is no shame in asking for help. Absolutely, because my daughter-in-law works in the mental health field. Guys, listen, we don't have time to play Russian roulette with our lives anymore, because we need to take care of our emotional health, mental health, physical health. And one thing, stop making excuses. If you mess up, just say, hey, Lord, I messed up. I messed up. And he can help you. If you need somebody to talk to, hey, reach out to me. I'll find out who I can get you connected with. But don't hurt in silence. Don't be ashamed if you need help, because there is no shame in it. And we as African American people, we need to stop thinking that we don't need therapists, because we need therapists. It doesn't mean that we're crazy. It just means that we got common sense enough to know I need somebody to talk to, because you may not can talk to your mama. You may not can talk to your best friend. You may not can talk to your husband or whomever. There is nothing wrong with getting a therapist to help you balance out what's in your head. Because when you get a therapist, that means you're taking ownership and say, hey, I can't fix what's going on to me because I don't understand what's happening with me. But what I can do is reach out to somebody and say, listen, this is what I'm feeling. I don't know why I'm feeling like this, or whatever the case may be. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to cry in silence. You don't have to feel like you're all alone. Just know that there is help. But you have to want it. You have to want it. Absolutely. So if anybody that's watching the live of the replay, listen, if you need some resources, please feel free to inbox me. Please, 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 I'm begging you. If you need some resources, please, I would do my best to find what you need. But what I don't want you to do is sit in silence, hurting, doing self-inflicted stuff, drinking, smoking, whatever the case may be. Because we want to see you happy, healthy, and whole here on Hot Topics with Donna. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, go on my YouTube page, subscribe, get your friends, get your family to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Donna Taylor Network, D Taylor Network. Listen, all of my videos that I've done for the last 4 years, they are on my YouTube channel. So guys, thank you, thank you, thank you for just embracing me. Thank you guys for coming on tonight. Please like and share my videos. So they can get out, so people can just know that they're not alone. That's why I do this. And like I said, if I don't have but one person that it reach, I'm good with that one person. And my daughter-in-law said, and just a smile can save someone's day. Trust me. If you are doing well and run into someone, smile and say hello. It don't hurt to be kind. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because your smile may stop somebody from harming themselves. It doesn't cost anything to say hello. It doesn't cost anything to say, oh, you look nice today. I like your outfit. We got to stop getting so caught up and being so self-centered. We got to stop trying to be like the cat's meow, because all of us have our own baggage. And just like y'all know, when I don't have it together, I'll let y'all know I don't have it together, because I'm not going to sit on here and lie and say I got it all together. Sometimes I just don't know. And just like a lot of you seen the pictures, like me and my daughter-in-law just went on a cruise for my birthday. And like, that was a time for me to reset. And I needed that. I needed to reset. I needed to refocus, because sometimes we just go, and life becomes like a fog. You don't know if you're coming or you're going. You don't know. Oh, thank you, Jamez. Thank you. But I promise you, there is help. There is help. So don't do this life alone. You don't have to do it alone. Like I said, if you know somebody that needs some resources, inbox. We'll do our due diligence to make sure we're making sure you happy, healthy, and whole. I will come back, or I will post when we're going to do part 2. And I just wanted to thank Maya for your honest, open, and transparency, because somebody needed this. Somebody needed this. And yes, we are our brothers and sisters keepers. Listen, you already know how we do it on here. We interview ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their lives and in their community. So if you know someone that wants to be on this platform, all you got to do is inbox us and we will get back with you. But thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. And we'll see you again. Good night. Bye.